Okay. Okay, here we go.
Take a quick
Who's ready for Ogre Watch? Who's ready for Ogre Watch? Who's ready to go see the big oaf himself? John Fetterman. The okay, I want to be too mean, but like the how do I say this? Uh, the the mentally unwell, um, 7'8". I don't know how tall he is, but uh, former Democrat turned Republican is making the rounds again. He is out there on his favorite channel, the only channel that loves him, the only channel that gives him the respect that for some reason he thinks he deserves, especially more respect than that bitch wife that he feels he has or whatever. God, I think he like hates his family now, and his family hates him. But uh, sorry, I don't mean to laugh too hard about the misfortune of the the sad ogre that we for some reason put into the Senate. But let's see what he has to say. I think this is related to the TSA shit that's happening and the lines being way out the door. This is Senator Fetterman. This should have never happened. Let's see what he has to say.
quick look at the other networks and their coverage of the conflict with Iran. It's one negative story after another. Many so-called journalists even parroting Iranian propaganda while treating everything that Donald Trump
Parroting, aka covering. They're covering it. I cover Iranian propaganda all the time. You should be listening to Iranian propaganda if you want to have a full understanding of the realities of the war. But sorry, this isn't about Iran. This, I think, is about the TSA.
says with an unyielding level of skepticism. John Brennan, I tend to believe the Iranians more than Donald Trump.
I do
That's
too.
on NBC. And the anti-American, anti-Trump hysteria is so insane. Even one columnist at the New York Times is calling it out. Quote, the New York Times, if
The
past
woke New York
generations could
Times.
see how well this war has gone compared with the ones they were compelled to fight at a frightening cost, they would marvel at their posterity's comparative good fortune. They would marvel, too, at our inability to appreciate the advantage.
This is so much cope, dude. I'm telling you, they need to all move to Copenhagen, which I've determined means Copenhaver, the nation of Copenhagen, or whatever, or the city, I guess. They all need to move there because this is the most fucking cope I've ever seen. Also, the New York Times, like, god damn, dude, you gotta do better. Be
We
better.
now possess. In less than a month, Iran's ability to project force anywhere in the world has been pretty much wiped out without any boots on the ground.
Yeah, pretty
This is
much,
such
right?
a historic success. Most Americans are trying to
God, the state
obscure
news,
out of
man.
their sheer hatred for Donald Trump. One person that
Nah.
is fair,
Nah. I would be saying all this same shit if Kamala was in office because I hate I hate our American presidents in a bipartisan manner. Okay, until we get like a true anti-imperialist in there, I'm gonna hate all of our fucking presidents, and I have a feeling it's gonna be a while before there's a president that I like.
objective and understands history. Is he might be the sole voice of reason now in the Democratic Party.
You
Is
gotta love
Pennsylvania Senator John.
Yeah, you gotta love that Fox News, right? People, where are all my Pennsylvania heads? Are they feeling represented? The Democratic base in Pennsylvania, are you feeling represented by this fucking loser as he goes onto his one safe space that doesn't a- like ask him why do you support the genocide of the Palestinians or whatever? Like he this dude, I don't know what happened. I legitimately think that like the stroke broke something in his brain, or either the stroke or like during his recovery process, like he was instead of getting like a normal psychiatrist to like help him like recover his mentality back to where it was before the stroke, like maybe they gave him some like CIA backed like Fox News host or somebody like to go in there and just like feed him right wing Republican talking points until his entire mushy brain absorbed it all and reconstituted itself into just like a complete like reactionary right-wing freak. Like this dude, he is a he is just a shame. He is a shame of a person. Um, yeah,
Fetterman, who is with us.
that's me. Sorry, I shouldn't be yelling so much at our mentally unwell ogre right here, but I just sometimes I can't help myself.
Senator, welcome back. Good to have you. Can I just ask you, how is it we're going to get to the deadline when your fellow senators are about to go on recess, and that might be the only motivation from stopping Americans from being inconvenienced, waiting 5, 6, 7 hours in some cases online just to get to a TSA agent, just so they can get to the terminal and get on their plane and travel wherever they're going? Why is that the motivation?
I truly don't know at this point. For
Also, another question: why does it always happen under Republican administrations?
me, I've said this from the beginning, and remind everybody there was a long shutdown just last year too, and I was one of the rare Democrats to
Also under
refuse
Republican
that too.
administration.
And now
Interesting.
here we are. Now I'm at the airport every week. I talk to countless TSA agents, and they are all hurting. They are angry. They are frustrating. They're exhausting too, what they've been put through.
Yeah, I'm sure if I had to talk to you, I'd be feeling the same way. Sorry. Okay,
Now,
I'm done.
these are
I'm
not
done.
wealthy people. They earn around fifty
I'm
thousand
done
dollars a
bashing them.
year. That should be our wheelhouse. I mean, they're union government workers, and now if we
They
refuse to
can't
give
strike
them a
though.
paycheck, don't talk about affordability if
If only they could strike, then they might not have to go through all this
you don't
shit.
even provide them with a paycheck. So it's always wrong, regardless whatever the party's doing it, shutting down our government. And you can see the kinds of chaos that's created across our right now. They're selling their blood. They have to take, pay loans and just this kinds of chaos. So it's fundamentally wrong, and that's why I refuse to be a part of it. And I'll reopen this DHS. It's wrong, and we're making our nation less safe, and it's also creating mass chaos. And now remember, with spring break, and now also the preparations for World Cup also now has largely been stunned.
Yeah, our government is not going to be able to handle the World Cup. I'm going to be honest. Uh, I will be honestly amazed if like if the game like I mean, it'll probably happen, but if there's like, I just feel like our country is so dysfunctional at this point. I feel like nobody's going to show up. Like, nobody's going to come from other countries to watch it. But then also, like, I don't even know if people in our country are gonna show up. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty empty, but who knows? I could be wrong. People love their fucking soccer.
Did too. So it's wrong, and I'll never be a part of this.
Tell me, you're there, you're in the cloakroom, you talk to members on both sides of the aisle. Am I wrong? Is Chad Peregrine wrong in saying that Democrats were proposing that they would be willing to fund all of the Department of Homeland Security less ICE, and now that the president is open to it and Republicans are open to it, now they're against it again? I mean,
Are they
why
open
do they
to it?
want this shut?
I didn't think they were open to that. I thought that was the whole thing. The Democrats wanted to fund TSA, they just didn't want to add the funding for ICE. And so, if they're offering that legitimately now, um, then I don't know why they wouldn't take that because that's what they've been saying the whole time. I don't think that they're going to be like petty about that shit because they want to get the government open as well, despite what the Republicans say. My guess is that there is a poison pill in there somewhere. If it has to do with the SAVE Act or the trans shit or whatever, I bet they threw something else in the proposal that made it, non-feasible for the Democrats to support it.
Shut down.
I truly don't know who's on first. I mean, with a lot of this,
I'm
it's
sure
just a
you don't.
fundamental, simple thing. Just to acknowledge that this has gone. It should have never happened, but it's gone way too long. We've all witnessed the kinds of chaos in our nation. Do the right thing. Put the country ahead of the party. Now there's a huge rally. Another No Kings kinds of protest. So now it's also probably motivating some people in my party. that they might be afraid to reopen now because they are demanding these kinds of extremes. What they think is a solution, that there was ever going to be a solution. They never had any leverage to.
Well, here's what I would say. If the Republicans just agreed to everything the Democrats wanted, then the shit would be open, right? Just saying.
Force any
It's
kinds
the same argument I always have for unions and their like the companies they work for or whatever. If the company just agreed to everything the union asked for, then the strike would be over. So, why don't they just do that?
of change.
Two can play at this little messaging, at this like you must acquiesce to every single thing that we ask for messaging operation.
Ever going to be a solution? They never had any leverage to force any kinds of changes in ICE or over control funding because of the big beautiful bill.
Let me ask you what conditions need to be had in Iran, in your mind, for this to be as successful a mission as possible.
Oh,
One of
God.
the things that comes to my mind.
You're gonna ask this dude? You're gonna ask this dude about fucking Iran, man? I don't think this guy like even can like I'm like, I don't even know if he could say Iran. Like this is I don't know. This is we'll see what the ogre's response is.
My head is we cannot allow what Steve Witkoff told us, what really became the imminent threat that everybody talked about, the 60% enriched uranium that the Iranians were bragging about, which can be weapons grade, 90% enriched within 7 to 12 days. That cannot end up in the wrong hands of anybody, the wrong hands of people.
Sorry, I gotta pause it again. But the one thing that always confuses to me about these people who are so like fucking weird about the enrichment is like you understand that like China could just give them a nuke, right? And or like Pakistan could just give them a nuke. Like they don't have to go through the enrichment process to get a nuke. Like if one of their allies, like if you nuke them or like if Israel nukes them or something, like I'm pretty confident that China will be sending over a nuke instantaneously, and then they will be a nuclear armed power. So, I don't know. I feel like they're always so obsessed with the uranium enrichment, like that's the only way for a country to get a nuke. It's just an interesting thing to me.
And they can't have that. Somehow that is either going to be turned over to us or taken by us or the Israelis. I would also argue any place, anywhere, anytime inspections. And I kind of expect that Donald Trump, if there is a deal aspect to this, the Iranians are going to have to pay us back for all the billions of dollars this military.
He's literally just saying that like the what Iran was asking of us or whatever. He's literally just like co-opting that. This is like classic debate lord shit, dude. Yeah, we'll see if the material conditions on the ground actually end up giving America the leverage to request that. I have a feeling that's not going to happen. Like that seems ridiculous.
Effort has cost us. Your thoughts? What are the things you think you need for this to come to an end?
What I think, we just have to acknowledge too that this has been,
Let's hear what he has to say.
A profound development in that region right now. Even the Saudi Arabians are now saying, keep going. You make sure, you have this incredible ability to remake that entire region. And now they've effectively destroyed their entire military apparatus. They're not able to really engage in any kinds of traditional warfare. What those cowards.
They never were. They always planned for an attritional style war because they knew that's the only way that they could defeat like a superior army or whatever. Like it's the smart strategy. That's what they did. They did smart strategy. This is what's so confusing for our ogre here and for just the general people in charge of this military operation is they have smart people. We have dum-dums. Do you see this guy right now? Like, this dude is one of the dumbest people in Congress, and he's trying to come up with, like, his ideas right now about the war, and so far they're not making much sense.
They fire off some random drones at civilians. They can't engage our traditional military capabilities. That's a fact. That's all they can do. And now they've had the Ayatollah weekends at Bernie's. I mean, like, like they
That
can't even have any proof of
was a
life.
funny one.
I mean, are they wheeling around that corpse? They don't know who's even
Okay.
even.
You don't if you make an okay joke, John Fetterman, this is just me from one comedian to another. If you make a funny joke, you really shouldn't go back to it and like try and explain it more because when people have got like when people smarty pants like me have actually got the joke the first time, it makes me feel like you think I'm stupid. And I really don't like someone like you thinking that I'm stupid because it makes me feel really stupid.
He's the leader right now. Zero proof of life since in February when he was originally struck. Now you watch all those kinds of videos about those strikes. Just we've destroyed their navy. They've destroyed their missile capabilities as well too. They have any ability to strike now. So here
What was that, Mr. Fetterman? What was that you just said? What was that sentence?
we've destroyed their navy. They've destroyed their missile capabilities as well too. They have any ability to strike.
They have any ability to strike. um, I hate to make fun of the mentally unwell, but they certainly do have the capability to strike still, as shown by the fact that they are still launching barrages of missiles. Like they're on like 50 or 51 at this point, and they're still launching them every single day. So, whatever that sentence was that he tried to say, I think he was wrong.
Now, so here we are now. Iran doesn't have any the kinds of military capabilities to have effectively. So I don't know why
What?
people can't sell that this is a great development and really, back this until it's
Oof,
final.
oof. Okay, this is getting hard to watch, people. I like, I hate this guy. I hate him. I do. I hate John Fetterman. I think he is a terrible person. I think he is an evil, evil person who advocated and helped facilitate the genocide of the Palestinians. Okay? So I hate him. I legitimately think he should burn in hell forever. He deserves worse than death, in my opinion. But, watching him try to stumble his way through this fucking interview and not being able to speak because of his stroke, it really does make me feel a little bit bad for him. And it makes me feel like these Fox News people who pull him out to like, I don't know, parade a mentally handicapped person in front of all of us, like so that he can parrot the, whatever the fuck you want him to say, like you're like puppeteering him or whatever. It really seems like an offensive thing to do to like to stroke victims everywhere. So like I said, I'm not above making fun of uh, evil people for their problems that they have. Like if they're fat or whatever, like I call ice people fat hogs all the fucking time. Like, and so I like to make fun of him for being a stupid little person now and an unhappy person. Uh, but I really, really do think that like the best thing for him, like, this is on a person to person basis, like ignoring the fact that he helped facilitate the genocide of the Palestinians. On a person to person basis, like, he's got to get out of Congress and he needs to get into therapy as soon as possible. And he needs to find a doctor that isn't some like CIA goon who is trying to turn him into see if their new like mind control techniques can turn Democrats into Republicans if you just force them to have a stroke or something. Like however this happened, like he needs mental help. Seriously, people, someone go out there and get him some because it's. I have a feeling I have a feeling that I know how like John Fetterman's the end of John Fetterman is going to have, and I don't think it's going to be very pretty.